Hi guys, Jared Rennick, People First Party. You may have heard the news over the weekend about the latest polling out showing that the coalition is sitting on a two-party preferred vote of 42% compared to Labor's 58%. This is obviously quite worrying, but for those of you who follow politics, it isn't really surprising. We know that the coalition, like Labor, has stopped listening to the people. A few weeks back up here in Queensland, the LNP had a convention whereby they voted down net zero, and despite that, the Queensland Premier, Crisafulli, came out and said he'd still support net zero. It's a classic example of how the major parties have stopped listening to the people. Another example, of course, is when Victorian Labor Premier has come out and said she's going to implement a treaty and a voice in Victoria, despite the fact that just 18 months ago there was a referendum strongly voting down, even in the state of Victoria, a no to a voice anywhere in Australia. So, it's not surprising that people are flocking away from the major parties. However, what's concerning is the fact that the coalition, if an election was to held today, would still lose even more seats than the number they're holding now. And if we want to turn this country around, we really need to make sure that we can get a party up and running that has a strong organisational foundation that is, that doesn't just offer solutions, but also has the structure behind it. And that's why People First is creating branches, and these branches will get to have a say in who they send to Canberra, which is really, really important, because if you don't get to have a say in pre-selections, when the politicians stop listening, there's no way to get rid of them. And we know that Labor and the Liberal Party now have basically, Labor have always pretty much selected their candidates, but the Liberal Party, by vetting out people from joining the party and vetting out candidates, is effectively selecting rather than electing candidates as well. So that's why I'm going to be hitting the road in a few weeks, going down to New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and ACT, setting up branches down there. We've got another branch to set up next week up at Hervey Bay for the Wide Bay Hinkler region. So I'm looking forward to that. We'd love your support. If you want to sign up and join the party, www.peoplefirstparty.au. We'd really appreciate that, because not only do we have the solutions, we're also setting up a structure so that we can actually serve the needs of the Australian people and get this country back on track. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.